Most founders I talk to think they have a paywall problem. The paywall is too aggressive, or it shows up too early, or the price is wrong. So they move it, they redesign it, they add a discount, they switch from hard paywall to freemium, and the conversion rate stayed the same. Here's what the data actually says. The 2026 State of Subscription Apps report, built on one of the largest in-app subscription datasets in the world, shows that the median conversion rate for freemium apps is 2.1%. 98 out of 100 users never pay, and founders who try to fix that by tweaking the paywall are solving the wrong problem. The real problem is almost always earlier. It's in the decisions founders make before the paywall even appears, and in the assumptions they make about how users experience their app. I have built over 20 mobile products and I keep seeing the same 3 mistakes. Today I'm going to show you exactly what they are and what to do instead. The first mistake is about what happens before the paywall even appears, and the data here surprised me when I first saw it. 55% of all trial cancellation happens on day 0, not after a week, not after the trial expires, on the same day the user downloaded the app. What does that tell you? It tells you that the user saw the paywall, accepted the trial, opened the app, and still left on the same day. The onboarding never did its job. I see this constantly in projects I work on. Founders spend months building features, push notifications, social sharing, advanced settings, and then build the onboarding in a week, right before launch. And when I ask about onboarding, I often hear something like, let's just put some nice screens in there, explain what the app does, and move on. Some random illustrations and a few bullet points. That's not onboarding, that's a brochure. The problem is the onboarding is where you need to build a narrative, one that speaks directly to your user's specific problem. And nobody knows that better than the founder. You know who your customer is, you know what they are struggling with, that narrative has to come with you. The result of skipping this is an app that does a lot of things but doesn't show the user why any of it matters in the first 2 minutes. Good onboarding has one job: get the user to the moment where they think, okay, I get it, this is useful. That's the aha moment. And if your onboarding doesn't lead there before the paywall appears, you already lost them. So before you touch anything else, go and audit your first session. Open your app as if you are never seen it before. How long does it take to understand what the app actually does for you? If the answer is more than 60 seconds, that's your first problem. The second mistake is something I hear from almost every founder I work with. I don't want to scare users away with a paywall too early, so they hide it, they push it back, they add more free features, hoping user will eventually feel grateful enough to pay, and they don't. The data is clear on this. Apps with a hard paywall, meaning they ask for a payment upfront, convert at 10%. Freemium apps convert at 2%. That's a 5 times difference. Now, freemium isn't wrong in every case. It makes sense when your app needs to become a habit before the user understands why it's worth paying for, when day 1 isn't enough to feel the value. But if your app solves a problem in the first session, something the user immediately understands and gets the result from, a hard paywall will convert significantly better. The fear of showing a paywall is understandable, but hiding it doesn't make users more likely to pay. It just delays the moment where you find out they won't. If you are unsure which model fits your app, ask yourself one question: can a user experience the core value of my app in the first session? If yes, hard paywall is worth testing, with or without the trial. If no, freemium is the safer starting point. If you just realize your trial might be too short or your paywall model might be wrong, that's exactly the kind of things I cover every week on this channel. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. The third mistake is one where founders' logic makes sense, but the data completely disagrees. The thinking goes like this: if I give users only 3 days, they will feel the pressure and make a decision. Short trial, urgency, it should lead to conversion. Logical, except it doesn't work that way. Apps with trials of 70 days or longer convert at 40%. Apps with trials of 4 days or less convert at 25%. That's a 70% difference in conversion just from making the trial longer. And yet, nearly half of all apps use the trials of 4 days or less. That number has been going up year over year. Founders are shortening trials thinking it creates urgency. The data says it's killing conversion. Why does the longer trial work better? Because users need time to actually use the app. A 3-day trial sounds like enough, but if the user opens the app once on a day 0 and then forgets about it, they cancel before they have seen any value. A longer trial gives them more chances to come back, build a habit, and reach that aha moment we talked about earlier. The sweet spot based on the data is somewhere between 7 and 70 days, depending on your category. For most apps I work on, I would start with 7 days and test from there. Short enough to create some urgency, long enough to actually convert. So here's where you are now. You know that 55% of trial cancellation happens on day 0. The user accepted the trial and still left before the end of the first session. You know that hard paywall convert 5 times better than freemium when the timing is right. And you know that a longer trial isn't giving up pressure. It's giving your user enough time to actually see the value. The next step is simple. Open your app, go through the first session as if you are a new user. Ask yourself, do I understand what this does for me before I'm asked to pay? If the answer is no, that's where you start. Everything else follows from there. If you are building a mobile product and wanted a second opinion on your monetization setup, I do free discovery calls. Link is in the description. And connect with me on LinkedIn. I share more content like this there too. So all links are below, and see you in the next one.